Hello again. We are often told that Britain has a long history of offering asylum to the dispossessed, and this is used as justification for allowing hundreds of thousands of rootless foreigners to enter our country and remain here for the rest of their lives. This was not at all what granting asylum used to mean during the 20th century. A couple of examples will show us what giving people asylum in Britain used to mean, as late as the 1960s. Following the German invasion of their country in 1914, no fewer than 250,000 Belgians arrived in Britain seeking asylum from the occupation of Belgium by Germany. They were all cheerfully accommodated and became useful people working hard to help in the war effort. What do you suppose happened 4 years later when the Germans had been driven out of their country? Do you think they simply stayed here, forming Belgian ghettos in our large cities? They did not. They returned to their own country to rebuild it. They were seeking asylum, found it, and when the danger was past, they wanted to go back to their own country. Which, with few exceptions, they duly did following the armistice in 1918. We gave them asylum, and when it was safe, they went home. This was, of course, the same kind of principle as when we offered shelter to Ukrainian civilians in this country when the Russian invasion began a couple of years ago. A more recent instance of this was when the entire population of the South Atlantic island of Tristan da Cunha was evacuated from their homes following a volcanic eruption in 1961. Tristan da Cunha is a British territory, and all 250 of the island's inhabitants were evacuated and brought to this country. They were housed in a former RAF base and found jobs. It was assumed they would stay in Britain, but once the volcanic activity had subsided, they voted to return to their homes, and so in 1963 they all went back to their little island in the South Atlantic, the most remote inhabited place on earth. This is what happens when people are genuinely forced out of their homes due to natural disaster or war. They shelter somewhere, take asylum, and then when it's safe they go back to their own countries. That is what was always meant by the giving of asylum. It's only in recent years that the concept has morphed into an open-ended invitation to come and live in Britain forever and invite the rest of your family to come and join you here. Asylum in this country now means that any random foreigner can enter Britain with the intention of abandoning his own nation forever and living here for the rest of his life. I am sometimes accused of being heartless and uncaring as far as asylum seekers are concerned, but this is more that my idea of what is meant by the granting of asylum is a little different from the modern one. In the description to this video I give links to a couple of pieces on the internet which discuss the things that I've been talking about.